Hey YouTube, I've been trying to make a video of my new weapons here, my arsenal of weaponry. Yeah, that's my bird in the background. You could hear tweeting like a wild animal. But these are just, I had a video about the Mosin, which is right here. But I've been trying to make videos for them, but they're taking up over 15 minutes and I can't do that. So this is like the 5th video I'm making, but the only one that's going to be posted on YouTube. But I still have to show my AK. Just throw this blanket over the bird or something, make her be quiet. But this is my AK-47. Actually, it's a wasr 10, but AK clone. AK clones are relatively similar to normal AK-47s. Wasr 10s are pretty much the most common one you'll probably find. But yeah, this is a 1063 wasr. I'm not sure if you could see what it says on there. There we go. It says GP wasr 1063, caliber 762 by 39. Pretty much it. Also, to tell, I had to try and find this because not too many people have it, but to tell what year these were made, because there's not really a date on them. It just says 1063 and all that, which really isn't a date. It's just the model and all that. But you find the serial number, and then the last digits off of there are what it is. And the last 2 digits on mine are 97. So I'm guessing mine was made in 1997. It's Romanian. It's got the rail mount on it. So pretty much it's ready to go for a rail. Just snap it on there, and I got myself a rail mount. I've got a house protection magazine here that I keep nearby just in case anyone breaks in. I got 10 rounds right there. I had 100. I shot 100 rounds through this. Works perfectly. Had one dud bullet, which was the first one that I was about to fire ever. Which is kind of weird, but yeah, it works great. The bullet for it, I'll take it out of the magazine here. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but yeah. There you go. Yeah, you can see with my hand, it's about a little bit smaller than my pinky finger. I'm not sure what would be a good reference. Comcast remote, because I know Comcast is pretty big in the world, in America, but it's pretty much just about as wide as the remote, or as long as the remote is wide. But yeah, from my understanding, you cannot hunt deer with the AK in pretty much every state except, I want to say it's Kentucky, I'm not entirely sure, but you can hunt coyotes and some smaller game like that. But this is my show mag. There it is inside. No. Hold the bolt back there. The safety is just like a normal AK-47 safety. Just pop it up for safe, then push it down for fire. A lot of AKs and clones and all that you see, the trigger here, it says Topco USA. Because from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but the trigger and the trigger elements in there, or like whatever makes it full or semi-auto with the AKs, I know they sell like trigger trigger modifications to make a full auto, which is illegal, but those parts have to be made in the U.S., so these ship over by CAI from Romania, and then they have to get these parts specially put in so they're semi-auto. So yeah, let me make sure that's an empty mag. Okay. I built myself a display thing right there with my hunting license and all that, because I'm not sure if it's in any other state, but the PA where I live, Pennsylvania, Game Commission, you need to have your hunter license or a membership to the gun range to shoot at a gun range, and I just took this out like a week or two ago. But fire's great. Had that. There's a bayonet that came with it. The bayonet covering. It's pretty much an AKM bayonet, an AKM model, which is what the wasr 10 is. You can pretty much tell an AKM if everything's like almost like pretty much original to the gun and all that. That the top cover there, you can see these bumps on it. Like right there, there's a bump right there and right there, and up on the top too. There would not be any bumps if it was a normal AK-47, from my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if there are bumps, it's an AKM. That's a good way to tell if it's an AKM or not. So it's an AK Modern. That's about it with the bayonet. I'm gonna have to find a way to hold it. Okay. I was working on mounting and dismounting the bayonet so it could loosen up so it's easier to take on and off. But pretty much what you want to do is put that on there. Okay, put that like around the flash hider. Then you want to put the back of this on here onto there, right where my pinky is. So you put it on, and snaps right in. You got yourself a bayonet that you can jab people with. I'm not going to take the bayonet off yet. Save some time. I'll do that after. Also, here's my Mosin. If you haven't seen the other video, you could watch that. But found some stuff out about the Mosin Nagant and all that. But I figured I might as well put this in the video too, since I have a good 7 minutes left. With the markings, mine is Hefsk. Well, the barrel is the barrel, and I'm guessing the receiver is too. I haven't taken the stock off the gun yet. I haven't taken it apart fully. The bolt is a Tula, and the reason you could tell it's a Tula, get that out of there. There you go. The Tula is there is a sickle star mark on there. There we go. It is right on here. That's a Soviet star, which I found out to my understanding is Tula. And here's a hammer and sickle and a wreath, and that is Hefsk. And yeah, it is a forced matched weapon though, so I'm guessing it was matched early on. And the scope is a reproduction scope, but it is to the specifications of 1928 Russia, and pretty much it's considered an authentic scope. An authentic reproduction is made in 2008. Authentic reproduction is just my word for it. It is not original from World War II or the Cold War era, but it is to the specifications of that, and it is pretty much correct, but not a real sniper. Just, yeah, you get it. It is a 7.62 by 54R, which here's the shell casings. I saved them from when I shot the Mosin, which was a few weeks before the AK. But here's the shell for it. I'm just going to pull out the AK bullet again. I was expecting I had to pull it out twice, but the shell itself is about the size of the whole casing. The AK. I don't have any bullets that have the projectile still in them because I shot all of them, but it goes to about out here. It's a really large caliber, but it's a great gun to have. Very cheap if you don't buy it with a scope on it. I got mine for $400, which I'm thinking the average for a non-authentic Russian Mosin Nagant with a scope on it is probably about $500 with labor and all that. But the scope is $220. The gun is $120. That's about $340. I got it for $400. A little bit over that, plus the working on it, like putting the scope on there, and the kits that come with all this. The guy that sold this to me didn't make much, or someone didn't make much selling this, but I got it for relatively cheap for what I think it should be worth. So yeah, but a lot of these markings, like you can see here, there's a square with a dash here, and I have no clue what any of these mean. There's a marking there. They're everywhere. I'd like to find out what they mean, but not too many people know what a lot of these are about. They're just random markings. The barrel for both of these is clean. I'm not going to take it out. Maybe in another video. I'm not going to take all this stuff out. The great thing about the Mosin is if there is something that is, like if you have your scope set out to a range of like 100 yards and there's something at 50 yards, you don't have to look through the scope. You could look down into the iron sights, and they're both available to you at the same time, which is great for pretty much anything, having that capability of closer and longer range. I'm going to try and go coyote hunting with this at one point, since that's what the state allows, and I'm going to try and go deer hunting with this, but I'm not going to take the scope. When I was trying to sight in the scope, if like this is the scope, the bullets were landing up at the top left quadrant, like really far top left, and I haven't really gotten it sighted in too much because it's such an inaccurate shot with the scope on, so I really don't want to be using the scope if I haven't fine-tuned it perfectly, which I wasn't able to do with only the amount of bullets I was given, which I think are about 40. But I am going to go and try hunting with the iron sights for it. I wanted to get a second Mosin. I've got about a little under a minute left, so I want to get a second Mosin with that isn't scoped, because yeah, it's just I want to be able to have a gun without the scope mount on it if I want to use the iron sights. I'm gonna try and buy maybe a scope for the AK too, just because I really don't want to be. I want to get some stuff for it. I don't want to be like, I am a purist, I think you want to call it, with guns. But yeah, I'm try and stop this under 15 minutes. It's going on close here. This real quick is a stripper clip for the Mosin Nagant. You put the shell in there, just push down, and you have a bunch lined up. That's the end of the video. It's going on 15 minutes here, real close. So yeah, stay tuned for my next video. Thanks.